Caution. This podcast is designed for mature audiences. We delve into topics surrounding sexuality and intimate relationships in a candid and open manner. Please note that we are not licensed marriage or sex therapists, and the content shared here is intended solely for entertainment and informational purposes. If you are under 18 years old or prefer not to engage in explicit discussions about sex, relationships, or mature language, we advise against proceeding further. However, if you're of legal age and comfortable with such content, feel free to settle in, grab a beverage, and enjoy this episode. Just remember, time flies when you're having fun. Oh, and the stories you are about to hear are true. The names have been changed to protect the guilty.
Welcome to Beyond Monogamy, where every episode is a journey of discovery, liberation, and endless possibility. Join your hosts Roger Johnson and Janet Valentine as they peel back the layers of convention, inviting you into a world where passion knows no boundaries. Beyond Monogamy, a podcast that transcends the traditional norms of relationships to uncover the raw, unfiltered stories about the lifestyle. And now, your hosts, Roger Johnson and Janet Valentine.
Okay, so we're going to get started with the second episode. Woohoo! Welcome to Beyond Monogamy. I am Janet Valentine.
I'm Roger Johnson.
And I'm Barbie Tripoli.
So, for those of you who are joining us for the first time, welcome. The context you've been warned about, we're going to talk about sex and some other stuff. So if it's not your thing, it's not your thing. But if you'd like to, we want you to be the flies on the wall that listen to us. Barbie is a retired swinger lifestyler. I'm semi-retired, and Roger is still in the game. So, along with our new format, I think we're going to get started right away. We said we're going to do a couple of things on a regular basis. One of them is the word, the vocabulary word of the episode. And we're going to probably have a couple of them as we go along. The next one is going to be sexual news. And then the third topic is going to be music. So anybody have a word they want to talk about?
I do.
Barbie starts.
Well, while I was researching, news around the world of sexual oddities, a new vocabulary word popped up: sploshing.
Ooh, what is that?
Do you know it? I
have never heard it.
Is
sploshing.
It like getting somebody to spray all over you? Or,
by the sound of it, I want to do it though. So what is it that I want to do?
People get naked, obviously. And they like to film themselves sitting in cake.
Oh my gosh!
Mm-hmm.
They like the feeling of the ooey gooey going in all their orifices.
I'd be so worried about the sugar. I would be so worried. It have to be sugar-free cake.
But they get aroused by the feel of wet, messy substances against their skin. It's a fetish, sploshing. So.
Wow.
I love, cake is my favorite food of all foods in all of life. If I had to live on just one and live healthy, it would be cake.
Right.
But sitting in it holds no allure for me. I don't think I would like that feeling of the ooey gooey. I mean, I don't know.
I thought splashing was like when everybody got so much cum coming out that everybody was splashing around together. That's what I thought. But
well, I think I've heard that too. But no,
I don't. Okay, it's a thing.
It's a thing.
Splashing on cake.
Sit on a cake, baby.
On
Sit
cake
and wiggle.
Roger, do you got it?
Wait,
you got any words or?
You still want to do it?
I'm going to comment on this one. This one's just a great one to just have here.
Do you still want to do it?
I am a fan. Not of doing this, of a video of a woman doing it. And my regret watching it, I mean, I may have bought a video or two on OnlyFans of this. However, then I'm left like, well, what about the cake? What kind of cake was that? I want a piece. There's still a piece. I want that piece anyway.
You get hungry. It gives you the munchies.
I like cake.
I do too. I like to eat it, not sit in it. But So that's my word of the week.
I don't want to be the person doing it. I have done icing before. I have done icing on a dick, okay, where you lick it off there. I've done hot fudge, peanut butter Reese's sticks. I've done those, but sitting in a cake. Wow.
Reese's dicks. Why have we not had that as a topic? Reese's dicks?
That's just peanut butter and hot fudge.
Yeah, you're putting that on somebody's dick?
Yes, and then licking it off. Oh my gosh!
If we were at a party,
sticks.
Go ahead.
The peanut butter sticks, so that you got to spend some time licking that peanut butter off. I mean, it's not just like that's not like a whipped cream one shot. Suck it off, it's gone. You're talking about that peanut butter sticks to the dick.
But then you have to stop and get a drink of milk. In the middle.
I want to be at put milk by you. Okay.
I want to be at a party when a girl sits on a cake because I just want to eat the cake out of her ass.
Oh, now here you're going.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I would
have my cake and eat it too.
So I changed my answer because if that sploshing, is that what it is?
It is
sploshing. If that's it, and I don't have to think about my pussy so much as my asshole, and then having Roger lick it off, I'm in. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
I'm totally in. Yeah.
I see there's a challenge.
We'll just check your glucose later.
She'd be like, keep it away from the pussy. Keep it away from the urethra.
That's good stuff.
You don't want sugar down there.
No, I'm very conscious of the sugar. That's why the coconut oil works so well, because it doesn't do that to the inside of your pussy. In high school. I mean, probably 15, 16 years old. I had this friend who was very adventurous, and she had read something and said that you need to put a lifesaver in your pussy to make it taste better. So that you need to figure out a lot of different ways to get those high school boys to eat that pussy. Okay.
Okay.
So I put in a cherry lifesaver in, okay, and thought it would be great. Cherry lifesaver, right? I got the worst UTI out of it. And, you want to talk about a high school girl who has to go and admit to the doctor who doesn't even believe that her cramps are real. I never told him.
Oh, no. Heavens, no. No. You don't tell.
I never told him that. So, and I know we have other news segments to go, but this pretty much vamps into what I wanted to talk about today. Which is, because when I was, like I said, in high school, I had really bad menstrual cramps and the doctor did not believe they were real. And so trying to admit to him that I did this thing in order to get guys to do this more, this was not happening. Okay, it was you were not telling anybody else. I told my girlfriend, and then you learned there was no internet back then. There was no, you can't look it up on Google. Is it okay to put a cherry lifesaver in? You could not go to the library and try to search this, okay, because the librarian would tell your parents. So there was the knowledge you were getting back then was straight from your friends, right? So I want to fast forward to the topic that I wanted to talk about, and I'm sorry, we'll go back to the sexual news if you want to. But actually, let's do that. Let's do sexual news now. And then we will pull this topic back in. So let's put a pin in this one. So you said you had sexual news to talk about. Do you have it? Or Roger, do you have any? Because I've got one, but it's data driven.
Data driven. Ooh.
Yes.
No, I do have one. I do have one because I was doing some research out there and found splashing. Which almost fits both,
right?
Because it was news to me. In Costa Brava, Spain, they've now banned penis suits and sex dolls for public celebration.
Well, now what are we going to do?
$1,500 fine if you're wearing a penis suit or carrying a blow-up doll.
Where is this again?
It's on the coast. Costa Brava, Spain. It was happening so much with celebrations and bridal showers and everything. It happened so often that the people that lived there were being, they were offended. So they made a real hardcore law. There
Oh,
are signs up banning penis suits and blow up dolls.
Oh, just another case of the government keeping a man down.
That's
so
Damn.
right.
if you're a teenager, what's the first thing you're going to want to get?
Oh,
Okay.
absolutely.
You're going to want to get a penis suit and a blow up doll. Totally.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You
Now you've
know,
made them the hot item. That's all right.
right. If you tell people you can't do this, they so want to do it.
They'll do
Right.
it twice as much. That's human nature. But anyway, I did find that that's a relatively new law that has taken place.
Okay. Well,
If you're
I'll
if you're
save
going to Spain, save your blow up doll and your penis suit.
I'll
Your
save my news for another time because it's easy. The data will still be there. Anyway, and the news, what I wanted to talk to you guys about was last night, we went over to COVID couple Kyle and Lola's house, and we had not seen them in a while. A while. When I say a while, it was like a couple months. And so when you have this couple that you've been playing with all the time through COVID, every day, every other day, or whatever, absence makes the heart grow fonder. The sex was so much better. Okay, because we hadn't seen them in a while, and so it was like we walked in the door, and instead of let's have dinner and let's have a drink, and then maybe watch a little movie or TV or whatever, and then play. We walked in the door, and Fabio says straight out, "Okay, you guys, I have taken my enhancer, and I want to drink sake at dinner, so." My proposal is let's play now. We were like, oh,
okay.
okay. So when you're there at 4:30 or 5 o'clock, it's like, oh, this is the right time. This is afternoon delight. This is
Oh
awesome.
yeah, it's perfect.
Okay, because you don't have to do any of this. Oh, am I going to be the one that makes the first move or anything? It's just you walk in the door and go, let's go play. Turn the coconut oil on. We've got the music is set up back there. And so we are playing. And there are 2 points I wanted to bring up. One is Lola has been teaching Kyle how to eat pussy. And she said it's a couple of different fights that they've had where she's talked to him about it in fights and he does the male thing of trying to tell you he knows how to do it when she's trying to tell him, no, you don't. Okay. So what she did is she had him lay there and she held on to his dick. And while he was eating her pussy, she would do to her dick what his tongue was doing to her pussy. So if he was missing her clit, she was not touching the head of his dick. Right?
Okay.
She was forcing him to put the tongue on the right place at the right time. Okay. So like if he went straight onto the clit, she was like grabbing the head of his dick and pounding on it. Okay. So that he could feel it that was not the right time. And I don't know exactly how it went. And I'm assuming this because it was only through listening to them talk that I got, oh, she's been doing this with him. But whatever she did, it was so much better. I mean, I was screaming shnikes within 10 minutes. It was so awesome. And I was like, oh man, you can teach somebody. Okay. If they're willing to learn, and what a great way to teach them, right? Hold on to a stick or whatever. So that's the first one. Second one. So he makes me come a lot. And so then Fabio gets on the massage table and Lola's working with him over there so me and Kyle start fucking, and the song comes on. It's by Rufus. Okay. The song comes on and it's Tell Me Something Good. Tell me.
It has a good groove to it.
Oh, it does.
God.
It's fabulous.
Because near the end of it, it's like the heavy breathing comes in where the whole heavy breathing. I was like, oh yeah, this is a good song.
Oh, yeah. I'm breathing with it in rhythm. Yeah.
So yeah, I got a good song. That was a good song.
That's a really good one. Yeah.
What about you, Roger?
My song of the week, coming off of that term last week, nickel clapped. My song of the week, if you because it's not a widely played song, so um, you know, if anybody listening, they had plans and the babysitter canceled. Well, this is your bailout. Uh, this is how you salvage the night between you and your partner. Play Nickelback. It's called "Shaking Hands." It's a kind of it. You'll want to go to a strip club and hear a stripper strip to it. It's that kind of good song. So Nickelback, "Shaking Hands." That's this week's song.
Okay, I got to write that down. Well, um, I like this artist. I think he's been around a little while, but Teddy Swims, he's real popular right now. And he has a song called Lose Control. It's on the top 40 list. It's really, really good. Teddy Swims, we can't play it for you, obviously, because that would be a
Right.
copyright violation.
Right.
But Teddy Swims, Lose Control. Good, good fucking music.
Good to add to the playlist.
Oh,
Good to
yeah.
lose control. Right. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
So I want to come back then to the pin that we had, and I want to talk about the fear of lifestylers and swingers of being outed. Okay, and the fear that somebody who's not swinging or in the lifestyle is going to judge you on it, and the fear is especially strong when you're at the doctor's office. Okay, so
Mhm.
I want to tell you the story about when I was outed a long time ago. Obviously, I've been swinging for more than 20 years. Okay, so this was with my first husband. That's all my children are with him. One of our kids, my son was playing on his son's soccer team. And so I was the soccer mom, and my doctors, my OBGYN, his wife was the soccer mom too. And so we were the soccer moms that we were doing the juice boxes and the orange slices and all that other stuff for the games. And we became friends because we would talk on the stuff. She, so, and at the time, he wasn't my OBGYN at the time, or yeah, maybe he was. So he was my OBGYN, but I became good friends with his wife. And then his wife, she got cancer and she died.
Mm.
And so it was rough. And so the first time that I went to my doctor's appointment after she had passed away, it was, really tough for him and me. And so we became friends. And we talked a lot, and but it was only at the doctor appointments that we talked, and he gave me a cell phone, and I texted him every once in a while if I had a medical question about my children, and he was always there for me. So he was a very good friend. He became very good friends, and his children were playing with my kids. Okay, so fast forward to, and I honestly, I can't remember if I was in the lifestyle when I first became friends with him or not. Doesn't matter. Fast forward to, I had gotten, he had convinced me to, my husband at the time would not get an vasectomy. So the only sex that I had with him was anal sex. And it was, that was when I had to learn a lot about how to get myself off during anal sex. It wasn't for the right reason. Okay, so I had to learn how to satisfy myself during that kind of anal sex. And I admitted this to him one time, And I said, because my fifth child was because the condom broke. We could have called that child Houdini. Okay. And so I was like, and my husband refused to get a vasectomy. And so I admitted this to my friend, the OBGYN, and he helped me at the time. I got I couldn't take the pill for a lot of different reasons, but he put in an IUD. And the IUD was great. Okay. He put it in just one time, and that meant I couldn't get pregnant. So I could have vaginal sex. And that's pretty much when I felt freer and I was able to fool around and cheat, which I did, and not have to worry about getting pregnant. And I got into the lifestyle. So my husband caught me cheating at the time, and he said, okay, let's do it together. So we were in the lifestyle then, had the IUD, and it was only after being in the lifestyle for a couple of years and my husband being rejected at parties because he was shooting live bullets that he decided to go ahead and get a vasectomy. Okay. So I didn't want to go to any other doctor. So he had this doctor prescribed the vasectomy for it, and he got him with the correct person, and he got a vasectomy then. So my husband got a vasectomy. I had the IUD in, still kept it in because I was still able to get pregnant, and I wanted to play, not worry about it. And then chlamydia came around, and Barbie and I both got chlamydia.
Yes, we did.
So that was you had to, so I remember her telling me, drive to another county, go to their public health department, go in, tell them that you've got chlamydia, be brave about it, tell them you've got chlamydia and that your husband knows, but you need to get, whatever it is you need to get to make it go away, and have them give you pills for your husband, and drive to another county to do it. So, I didn't want to do that. Okay. So I just called him up and said, I've got a problem and I need to see you. So I went in to see him and I said, I've got chlamydia. And he was like, okay. And I said, I think there's a real issue. What happened was the IUD came out because of the chlamydia. Okay. So he said, first of all, he gave me the pills for me and he gave me the pills for my husband. Okay. And he said, I'm not going to talk to you about this or whatever. And he said, I said, I want the IUD to be put back in.
Hey, this is a great time for a break.
Fellas, are you tired of the same old experience? Need to spice things up? Introducing Dick Dippers, the revolutionary way to bring flavor to your love life.
Oh, baby.
That's right. Just dip it, dunk it, or drizzle it in one of our mouth-watering flavors, like strawberry daiquiri for a tropical twist, pina colada for that classic sweetness, or go all in with hot fudge sundae, because who doesn't love a little extra drizzle with nuts? Made with 100% edible, body-safe ingredients, Dick Dippers are smooth, tasty, and guaranteed to make every moment delicious.
Now that's a treat I can't resist.
So why be boring when you can be dipping? Get Dick Dippers today. Available wherever fine personal products are sold. Not responsible for excessive licking, moaning, or sudden craving for sweets. Use as directed. Satisfaction highly likely.
Now, back to the fun part of the podcast.
And he said, but it says on the file, and I helped your husband do this, he's got a vasectomy, doesn't he? And I was so scared because this was my friend who was also a doctor. And I said, okay, I want you to sit down. And he's like, oh, it's that good? And I was like, I don't know. I just want you to sit down. And I said, I'm in the lifestyle. And he goes, "You mean like lifestyles of the rich of the famous and all this other stuff?" And so this is the doctor that during having my babies, he would tell me jokes to make me laugh during those sections because he was so funny. He's so dry-witted. And I said, no, that's not the lifestyle I'm talking about. I said, a swinger. And I said, please just don't say anything for a minute. I want you to think about this. I'm a swinger. I fuck around with other people.
But I need you to hear that and be my healthcare provider.
Yeah. Well, I did, but I didn't even say that to him because he's my friend. I just said, and so he just sat there, and he sat there for a couple of minutes. And I said, okay, your couple of minutes are up. What are you thinking? What do you think? And he goes, I have one question for you. And I go, what's that? And he goes, do you do girls too? And he totally meant it. Okay.
Yeah.
He said it with a smile. And this person that was my friend did not judge me. You know, he did not judge me at all. And
no, he's a remarkable man.
And he goes, so who else he goes, so you have a group of people that you play with? And I said, yeah, they're around here. And I go, he said, well, what have they done? What have they done for the chlamydia? And I told him, I said, they've gone out of the county. They've gone somewhere else to get help. And he goes, oh, that just shouldn't happen. And he goes, tell them to come here. He goes, I'll let them register as Mr. Smith or Mrs. Smith. Tell them to come here. Yeah. And he goes, I won't judge. And he goes, I won't, it's obvious you won't judge. And he goes, I want you to, he goes, I want to live through your stories. And I told him, I said, I've already got a blog. I've already got a blog and it's up. And he started reading the blog and he would text me every once in a while about it. And he's like, I just want to live vicariously through you. And so my OBGYN visits sure did change because I was not lying to this doctor. I could go in and say, you know, and so he's the one that really got me to the coconut oil and how good the coconut oil is. And the reason is because the one time I went in for my checkup, it was really raw there. And he's like, okay, it's really raw down here. And he's like, and it smells like mint. And he goes, what have you been doing? And I go, well, my friend Tracy told me that I should clean it with toothpaste right before I'm going to get ready to play at a party because it makes it taste better. And he's like, really? You've been cleaning this with toothpaste? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, oh, that is not right. And he's like, that is not right at all. And he goes, I see where you as a woman would think this, you know, because you women all think that it doesn't smell right. And he goes, but if you take care of it, it smells good. And he goes, because it smells naturally good if you do right things or whatever. And he's like, if you douche or whatever, that's fine. And he said, but don't use that. And I said, well, what do I do? He goes, I would take some coconut oil. He goes, I would use some coconut oil, maybe put some peppermint in a coconut oil. And he goes, coconut oil is surprisingly really good to use because it's antibacterial. And he goes, so like all of those reactions that you've been having, and he knew that I was having reactions to some of the other lubes that were out there, the flavored lubes. He's like, yeah, the problem with those is the sugar and also the, you know, the issues with those. And he goes, coconut oil, that's it. And he goes, and then I had told him about the massages as a great way in, and we were using olive oil and baby oil. He's like, no, use coconut oil. Because it doesn't have really a smell. It's really antibacterial. So this is the man that was also responsible for, ultimately, Slickums and the Slickums commercial, if you want to talk about it, and how I use the coconut oil on massages and all that other stuff. I mean, yeah. So it was, but we're afraid. I was especially afraid of my doctor being outed, but he did not do the judging me and my other friends. So he was very great to, and he's still alive. I've moved away. So I don't use him anymore. And I've learned to be honest with the doctors that I have now. They're not my friends like that, but I'm very honest with them and tell them exactly what the situation is so that they understand this. These are the possibilities or the things to think about, but it's not like, if you listen to the previous episodes where the one guy tells his daughters and the daughters tell all their friends. And so the people that live in my area are all like, she's one of the ones that fools around with my dad. And then they tell everybody, and then the whole world knows, and it's not good. So it's, there's a fear in the lifestyle of being outed, and the people at work figuring out that you're like this and then changing how they treat you. And then definitely your children. We told the story about the two couples that were in it, the mother and the son and daughter that were in it. You kind of want to know, but not know. You don't want to meet your child at a party, and you don't want people talking about it. So
nobody's business. No.
Yeah. But so Barbie knows because she has now gone to this doctor as well. And he's great.
He's a wonderful man. And he's the only physician I've ever been 100% honest with. Yep. Because I just don't feel judgment from him. So
no.
And he even I had a couple of little, I don't know, bumps. That's all I can call them, that I wanted him to look at down there. And so he's like, oh, yeah, I can take those off. I'm like, okay. He says, yeah, I can burn it. So he gets his little device and he's like, a lot of people wouldn't see that. And I said, but I show it on a camera. I've got to have those taken off. And he said, well, it's going to hurt. And then I was getting ready to go to Jamaica. And he said, well, that's good. That salt water is going to feel real good in a couple of days. And he was right. He was so right. But, I told him, I told him I was a cam model. I said, that's why because he was like, how did you even see these dots? These little bumps. I'm like, hey, it's magnified when you see it on your screen. So, no, he's a wonderful, wonderful. Yeah. And I never, ever felt judged, or even his nurse. I mean, because she was in there when he was doing it,
Right.
And I blurted out about the camera. I was just like, HIPAA's going to save me.
His nurse would, when I would come in, like for my regular checkups and stuff, she'd go, oh, I read that article. It was really good. She goes, I learned so much from you.
Woo, yeah. Yeah.
And so don't go searching for my blog because I had to take it down because of the divorce. But this has become my blog. So
blog.
I know every once in a while he's listening because I've sent him this. So I just want to, as a friend and as a doctor, this guy really stepped up and so took a lot of the fear out of it. Now that's not to say that I'm still going to go now around and announce to people this is what I do. Because people don't want to know. And as much as they say, oh, I'm going to be fine with it or whatever, there are only a few people that I've met in the vanilla world. One of them is Mandingo, who's now the producer of this, who said, yeah, you need to talk about this. You need to get this out here. So there's Mandingo. And then the other one is this doctor. Yeah. So, Roger, have you ever had the outed scare?
I've encountered it. When I look at it through my eyes, I kind of step back and look at it and look at, what about me being at this party would have to happen, would transpire for that to happen. And so, but I've encountered it, and it absolutely ruined a good play session. What was probably gonna be, and we were at a party and met a couple, and she's hot, plenty hot, and probably wanted to. Well, I'm pretty sure she wanted to. and then when it got time for it to transition to that step, that ultimately just ruined it. It was just her like fear and paranoia of being outed. They weren't gonna play until their kids moved out of their house. Mind you, this party was not even at their effing house. And I was blown away at that, and I'm just like, eh, to anybody listening that's new and kind of has the same worry, I want you to understand, when you're at a party, all of these people have their own lives away from this party, and they don't want to be outed either. And so nobody's going to talk about it. Nobody's going to come up to you if if you work in a government building, a very public place, you, anywhere that you would have a logical concern with the people around you, coworkers knowing. I get that. But at most, somebody's just going to come up and say hi because they recognize you and smile, and it's just that dirty little secret between the two of you. And when everybody asks, because that's happened to me, just in a work type setting, and somebody asks, and like, oh, that's just one of my wife's friends. Yeah,
Yeah.
Or if it was a woman, just say, oh, it's one of my husband's friends. We were at a party
What's It's
couple
rare
weeks
that
ago.
somebody will ask you where you met somebody, but you get as close to the truth as possible. I met him at a party,
Yep.
or I was talking at a restaurant, and we turned around and talked. And this is because Fabio does this to everybody. He talks to everybody at places and stuff, and then we just come as close to the truth as possible. But it is like Fight Club. Okay.
Yep.
Because what goes on at the swingers party is supposed to stay at the swingers party. And so where the puppy dog doc went wrong is in telling his children he breached that confidence. He was fine with telling his children. He made the judgment that his children needed to know. He was not but he breached it because he told them about me and his friends. And I did not give him permission to do that. Okay. So you can talk about it, but you don't out me. I am the only one that has control over this. And so when you tell your children about it, you don't sit there and go, and I did so and so and so and so and so and so, and these people are in the lifestyle and these people aren't. That guy sat down and gave them a whole, he would talk to people in the gym about it. And say, I'm so happy because I'm in the lifestyle and my friends all fuck around. Well, do you think I want to admit being his friend? No.
Not
No,
even
you
for a minute.
don't. Right. And so the thing, so last night we went and we had a lot of fun, and tell me something good happened. And then we got dressed and we went to the restaurant, and we're sitting in the restaurant, and our code is dirty jokes. And I said to them all at the table as the waitress was walking away, and there were people sitting next to us, so they could overhear us. And I said, I really like it when we tell jokes before we come to dinner. This was really good. And everybody else agreed. So that you're not, the code is telling dirty jokes, not fuck around or whatever. Hey, you guys, I really like fucking before dinner. You're not going to say that in a public place.
Exactly.
But when you're out there with them and say, I really liked telling jokes before dinner, I like that rhythm. We said that and go on. So the code is, now Kyle will go, we weren't telling jokes.
Right.
And then
like, what?
Lola will be like, telling dirty jokes. I love that innocence, because it's so cute. But it's like, yeah, the code is telling dirty jokes. That's the code. I'm gonna tell dirty jokes before dinner, and then we can go out to dinner and I'll have fun and drink and not worry about whether or not it's going to get up after dinner. Because this is the right
and then
time.
go home and go to bed. And
it was awesome.
Fabulous. Yeah.
Yeah, we were home by like 9 o'clock, 9:30 at night. Yes, I'm fine. Am I older and do I want to get home and sleep when I want to sleep? Damn straight. I do not have to act
Absolutely.
like I got to stay up till 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm this party
Oh,
animal person.
oh
No, I'm
no,
not there.
not
So
anymore.
anyway,
No.
but
I was telling dirty jokes right before this podcast.
oh, this went right. Oh man, next time.
Wow.
So when you said you were coming, you really meant you were coming.
Is well here, there's a whole story with it, but but it's a quick one. So
It was a quickie.
yesterday, I I went hunting, met up with a friend, and he was telling me and I don't know why, like we're walking into the spot we're gonna hunt, and he was like, yeah, but before I left, I had my wife bent over, and right when I was about to come, I just grabbed a handful of hair, and I pulled back to whisper in her ear, "I'm going hunting with Roger."
Oh,
And then
oh,
and then he
oh.
came, and I'm like, wow,
Okay.
I don't know how I feel about
Yeah.
hunting with me making you come.
Yeah.
Um, that's not this
Yeah.
kind of hunting trip. Um,
Yeah.
so I had that in my
Oh,
mind, and I wanted to uh, I probably meant to say, you know, I gotta go do the podcast, but it instead I don't know. My mind went blank, and I'm like, shit, I was gonna say something. I gotta say something, and I was just
I'm
like,
gonna come.
Wakanda forever.
Oh, God.
So
Oh,
yeah,
that's
I
great.
haven't been watching Marvel movies. There's a new one out. We'll see it eventually, and I don't know where that come from.
Okay.
That's great.
Well,
Anyway,
I think along with our new, striving to do better, we're up to, this is a good time for us to finish this episode and hang on to the rest of our stories for the next podcast.
yeah,
So, unless there's something that you really wanted to get out today, but I think it's great. I like our format with the music and the sex news, and then telling the stories because I've 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 forgotten so much of the fun that I've had. So it's great to talk about it. Anyway, so for those of you out there who would like to leave us a comment, but you want to remain anonymous, go to the website. The website is Beyond Monogamy Podcast, all smashed together, Beyond Monogamy Podcast. And yeah, you got to spell it right. So get AI to help you spell it. BeyondMonogamyPodcast.com. And we're working on it. I am hoping by the time this episode airs that we will have a comment section so you can leave a comment and also reach out. And this is where our email addresses are, our contact us. Roger's got one up there. I have one up there. Hopefully this week we'll have one up there for Barbie. So if you want to send us a note, talk to us about something, suggest something for the podcast, this is the place to do it. So go to that website. This is also the place to tip our wonderful vanilla producer, which is Mandingo, who does an excellent job. And I also need a disclaimer. Currently, there is no such thing as a dick dipper or a slickum, but that doesn't mean there can't be. So if enough of you stay, this really is a product that you love these commercials, and this really is a product you like to get from us, we'll figure out a way to get it to you. Okay, so I'm putting in that disclaimer as well. So go to beyondmonogamypodcast.com. There's a contact Roger, contact Janet, and then soon there'll be a contact Barbie. And also, if you want to leave a review, you can leave it anonymously, and we'll do it because we understand this is Fight Club, and what goes on here stays here. So you telling your friends about it on the down low, understand that. We love to hear from you and love to get more ideas. Until the next time, we hope that you come again and really come.
That's it for this episode of Beyond Monogamy. We hope you enjoyed our podcast. and we look forward to having you back again for the next episode of Beyond Monogamy.